Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell. So every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Well, I've been gone a couple of days. Had to help one of my daughters do some cross-country moving. It was a long drive, so got back late last night and was just, kind of beat. Then had to do some other things today. Had to catch up with some other stuff, so I ain't really been able to get on here and, keep up with what's going on with Sister Fani. But it seems like as soon as I'm out of pocket, things just blow up. So and I'm sure y'all have seen and heard about it. So let's get into it, because I try to put a personal perspective on these stories I bring so everybody can, bring it on home, right? So let's get into it, because a lot to get to. And hey, I want to know your opinion. Is she still, let me see. Should she be taken off? Do you think she should be taken off the case? Or do you think she should lose her license or go before the bar for a hearing to see if she should keep her license? And do you still believe in her? Anyway, let's get into it. Let's start off here with the New York Post, and this reads, Nathan Wade's phone pinged at Fani Willis's home 35 times before their claim affair began, according to the docs. It says Nathan Wade's phone has been tracked to District Attorney Fani Willis's home late night in 2021, well before the pair claimed they were a couple, according to a bombshell new court filing by attorneys for Donald Trump in his Georgia election fraud case. And this came out on Friday morning. And it just took over the internet. On 35 occasions, Wade was in the vicinity of the condo Willis was subleasing from a friend in Hapeville, Georgia. Quote, for an extended period of time between April 1st and November 30th, 2021, according to Charles Middlestat, an investigator hired by Trump's team. Many of those visits were before Wade was hired by Willis to be special prosecutor of the Trump case in November 2021, and appeared to contradict court testimony last week when he said he claimed he'd been at the condo no more. Now, see, I'm just reading what I see. This, like I said, this stuff is done by AI. Y'all need to learn how to edit and proofread what you write. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, so let me try it again. Many of those visits were before Wade was hired by Willis to be special prosecutor of the Trump case in November 2021, and appeared to contradict court testimony last week when he said he claimed he'd been at the condo no more than 10 times before he was hired. I'm gonna put the link in the description. You can read it for yourself. That's exactly what it said. The duo have told the court that they didn't strike up a romantic relationship until the spring of 2022 and broke up around a year later. However, in the lead up to Willis's hiring Wade, and also in a month after he signed his first contract with her office, he appeared to visit the condo twice in the middle of the night, according to Middlestat, who analyzed mountains of cell phone and geolocation data from Wade's number. On September 11, 2021, Wade's cell phone was placed around the Hapeville condo at 10:45 p.m. and stayed there until the wee hours of the morning the next day, leaving at 3:28 a.m. and soon after arriving at his own home, Middlestat claimed in an affidavit. Now, I'm gonna kind of fast forward and come back. So it's easy, I'm sure they're gonna deny it, which they already have, which I'm gonna get to that in a second. Or at least Fani Willis has denied, or said it doesn't mean, she hasn't denied anything. Let me say that. She said it doesn't mean anything what the guy found in these cell records. Here's the crazy thing. One, they requested the records from AT&T one day, and I'm gonna probably read what day it was, and then like a week later, the records came. Now, I don't know about you, but I watched First 48. I watch a lot of crime documentaries. When law enforcement requests cell phone records, it can take weeks up to months before they get anything back. And a lot of time it has to be depends on the size of, how many documents they need, like how many weeks, how many months, years they got to go back. Like I said, it could take, like I said, weeks to months. This was damn near a year, and they got it back within 1 week. Amazing. So I'm sure that's a red flag because that normally does not happen. Okay. But yeah, they can say that it doesn't prove anything, but yeah, in a court of law, on the surface, yeah, you can say that don't mean nothing. But let's just, talk, human to human, citizen to citizen. If you go anywhere at 10:45 at night, and then you leave at a little less than 5 hours later, and you're a guy or you're a female, and you're going to somebody's house, what is 9 times out of 9 do you think is going on? Now I can sit here and say, hey, back in the day, nursing school, you could say, hey, we was up studying. We had a big exam tomorrow, so we was up late night studying, what have you. You can say that, but there might have been some studying, but then it's like, oh, we got clinicals in the morning, so we doing our note cards and stuff like that. Yeah, you're doing that, but you know what I'm saying? There's probably most likely there's other things that's going on in between that time too. So, and then you leave at 3:30 in the morning. Now remember, Nathan Wade was still married. Now, I don't know if they're saying that he was leaving his house and going to her condo, or was he leaving his apartment? Now, hold on. His financial records, the bank records did say that he was paying like $1,500 in rent. So most likely he leaving his apartment or condo or whatever and going to this condo. But like I said, they're gonna deny. They're gonna say, hey, cell towers, that could be a range of miles. So it don't prove anything. But okay, let's go. Then on November 29, 2021, Wade called Willis at 11:32 p.m. But before arriving in the area of the condo after midnight and remaining there until 4:05. Middlestat alleges. Again, this is about the same amount of time as the first one, 4.5, less than 5 hours. So it's like a routine. The investigator also claimed, based on the data he collected, Wade and Willis made over 2,000 voice calls with each other and exchanged just under 12,000 interactions over the 12,000 interactions. I think that's text messages over the 11-month period in 2021. Now here's the thing. 2,000 voice calls. Now it says over 11-month period, but it doesn't really specifically give you dates and times. Now I'm sure the records will show exactly when these calls and these text messages were made. For instance, let's say 11-month period of time, let's say from January to, July, they may have called each other once a day. Okay, so let's say 6 months, they call each other once a day. So you talk, let's say 38 times 6 is 180. So let's say it's 180 calls, 6 months. Just hypothetical. But then when they start, actually when it says, when they went to like September. So let's say like in September, the month of September, phone calls could have jumped. Text messages could have jumped. Because 12,000 text messages is really not a lot. Because think about it. If you say, hello, good morning, what you doing, how you doing? That go, your first 10 text messages are bullet coin. And then, and you can do that within 2 or 3 minutes. See what I'm saying? So you can send like 100 messages easy in an hour or two in the morning. So 12,000 is not a lot, but it is a lot if you ain't dating, if you're not in a relationship, if you're not clapping cakes, knocking each other down. Because I can't think of a time in my life where I text anybody, man or woman, 12,000 times anytime. And dating or not dating, but definitely you're gonna do it more with somebody that you're with, that you're in a relationship with. Definitely gonna happen. And then you gotta think about when were you doing it, because if you're in court, are you sending text messages while you're at work? When you're in court, when you got the fate of people's lives and livelihood in your hands, are you sending that many damn text messages? Or are you doing it after work? If you're doing it after work, that's to show a lot of text messages for people who ain't dating. So it doesn't make sense. I mean, like I say, grand scheme of things. I mean, shoot, kids, high schoolers, junior high, you get them cell phones, hell, they'll send text messages all day, every day. And yeah, they probably can send and receive 12,000 text messages in a day. But grown folks who got bills, who had a job, supposedly working all hours of the night, 12,000 text messages, that's a lot. That's a lot. I don't think I ever went because I remember when they used to have it where you I think total back in the day during dating times when I didn't have unlimited messages, I think I only sent like maybe in a month, maybe like a few hundred, and that's to the woman I'm with, my kids, my mom, dad, sister, friends. I don't think I sent like a few hundred text messages in a month. So it don't make sense for people who it's just a platonic professional relationship. Man, you gotta miss me with that. Trump and many of his co-defendants have been seeking to boot the embattled Fulton County, Georgia DA from the case and to get the criminal charges against them tossed based on allegations that Willis improperly hired Wade, who they say was her boyfriend at the time, and then financially benefited from the lucrative contracts with her office when he treated her to vacations to the Bahamas, Aruba, and Napa Valley, California. The pair was forced to testify in a 2-day hearing. Well, actually, she wasn't. She chose to do it in that backwards dress. Yes, I believe it was backwards too, because you see the zip on the front, then I think the bow in the front too. That kind of crazy. If it ain't the bow, I think it's bundled up in the front or whatever. But anyway, she testified on her own because she was upset about something. I already discussed that in a previous video where I think that maybe Brother Nathan cheated on her while they was together and she got pissed off because she just had too much emotion. But it's funny how she was saying how she was pointing specifically to stuff in those documents that she requested from the court. How she said they lied on her on certain things, but not everything. That's also a trait or a characteristic of some of the people do who get caught up. They'll try to find something, one thing that they can hang on to. I said it before. They look for one thing they can hang on to say, hey, see this ain't right. Why you do this? Why you say this? This ain't right. So you can't, if this is a lie, then they can't trust nothing that you say or do. But 98% of what was written was probably the truth. But you went on one thing, but that's that reasonable doubt thing that they do in the court when, you trying somebody and it's gotta be, you gotta find them not guilty, reasonable doubt, without a reasonable doubt, guilty, not guilty without a reasonable doubt, or what have you. So that's kind of like what she was doing. Like, hey, if the white woman lying on me on this one thing, she lying on everything. Yeah, that's a dang bow on the front of her dress. Yeah, she had that dress on backwards. That's crazy. Wade and Willis also testified they split in the summer of 2023, but they remain close friends. Shoot, not after that testimony, where that testimony went, she couldn't stand that dude. Georgia-based defense attorney Keith Johnson told the Post if today's affidavit was correct, could lead to perjury charges. He added the affidavit presented by the defense attorney in the case that there were several phone calls and text messages between the parties prior to the appointment of Mr. Wade as special prosecutor. And they might have been cool. Remember, you had to hire the dude, so you had to have known the guy to be comfortable enough to go and ask him, hey, do you want to take this case? Because remember, he wasn't her first choice. So there was a few people I think that she said that she asked before she asked him. But even when she asked him, he said no at first. And we had to come back. So that could be what the messages in the late night visits was, trying to persuade him to take the case. So Come on now, let's keep it 100 now. That directly contradicts the sworn testimony of both Mr. Wade and Ms. Willis, who stated they had a platonic relationship prior to him being appointed. Whenever there is a contradictory testimony on the oath, you have, see, man, like I say, I don't know who editing these stories, man. You have to look at the intent of the parties and whether they knowingly made false statements. Johnson noted both Wade and Willis would have chance to respond to the allegations in court. New York Post, I'm afraid to read the rest of this because, like I said, whoever edited this, man, you missing. I remember when I grew up, when you wrote anything, you looked at it, you proofread it, you wrote it again, you proofread it again, then you do the final draft. You missing punctuation, missing words, putting words that don't make sense, kind of almost lose credibility. Middlestat said he came to his conclusions by creating a geofence using the 2 cell towers close to the Hateville condo, which were 3,000 and 2,000 feet away from the address of the condo. So the cell towers are close, right? Remember that. They are 2,000, one of them 2,000 away and the other one is 3,000 away from the condo. That's important. So remember that. I'm going to come back to that. Trump's lawyers are seeking to have the information added as evidence for Judge Scott McAfee's consideration when he rules on whether Willis should be disqualified. McAfee said closing arguments on the motion for March the 1st. So from this date, it's like 5 or 6 days from now. 30 days, September, April, June, and oh no, it's 28. So yeah, about 5 days, 4 or 5 days from now. That's right, 25, 26. Okay. End of this week, the friend that Willis subleased the Hateville condo from, Robin G.R.O.W.T.H, testified that Willis and Wade struck up their affair started in 2019. But lawyers in the DA's office seemed to suggest during their cross-examination that G.R.O.W.T.H that her testimony shouldn't be credited because she had an axe to grind with Willis after G.R.O.W.T.H left her job in the DA's office on sour terms and hadn't spoken to Willis. That's usually the best time to talk to somebody because when they upset with you, they're most likely to tell the truth and tell all your business. But when they cool with you, they ain't gonna say nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So you can say, well, she could be a hostile witness or you can't take her testimony seriously because she's upset. Upset got nothing to do with it. Yeah, upset is the reason why we want to talk to her because when people are upset, when they're emotional, a lot of times they do got to ask the grind. If they got the evidence, they got what they need is supporting evidence. They're gonna get you. They're gonna go get you, and she got it. And it wasn't like she was going all off. Now she was calm and cool when she was talking. You could tell she was kind of upset that she was being bothered, but she told what she had to tell on Sister Fani. The Fulton County DA's office didn't immediately return a request for comment on Friday. So then let's go to Newsweek right quick. We ain't gonna read the whole thing because we already know the preliminaries. And this says, what this says? It says in Newsweek.com, it says Fani Willis' allegations could not be more serious, attorney warns now. It said attorney and legal analyst Jonathan Turley wrote in a Sunday Post that the new allegations against Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis could not be more serious. Willis has been leading the investigation into former President Donald Trump's alleged efforts to interfere with and overturn the result of the 2020 presidential election in Georgia after Joe Biden won the state. Last summer, the investigation resulted in a grand jury. You got Trump and 18 co-defendants, charging all with conducting a criminal racketeering enterprise. Fani love that RICO. She loves to use that RICO for whatever reason. They say she used it against the teachers when it was alleged that grades were being changed so they can get their federal money. She using RICO against YSL. And now she's using RICO against Trump. I mean, she going RICO crazy, but she might get hit with the RICO herself due to all this cash that she got on hand and not, if she is, and not filing with the IRS. So yeah, she may have, what they say, saying things that make you smile, make you cry. Trump himself has pleaded not guilty to the charges and accused the case of being attempted to hurt his 2024 presidential campaign, as he had done all for the legal troubles he is currently embroiled in. It says she's been caught up in allegations leveled by Michael Roman. The lawyer Roman has filed Willis and Wade to be removed. It says she countered the allegations, stating that the personal relationship with Wade did not begin until after he was brought into the case, and that any personal relationship among the members of the prosecuting team does not amount to disqualification, conflict of interest, or otherwise harm a criminal defendant, even though she said before she got this job that she would not date any subordinates or anybody on her team, because that'd be unethical. That's what she said, but now you went against what you said, and now you fight mad, like, why is the world against you? Well, you pretty much contradicted yourself. You made yourself to be a liar, that you lied to get the job, and now you lying to keep it. It say Judge Scott McAfee held a series of hearings last week to determine if Willis and her office will be disqualified from the case. And here we go. On Friday, the legal team represented Trump in the case. Now, this represents Trump. Trump been quiet for a long time, and his legal team came out with this because he ain't even on trial yet. Say they submitted a filing proposing the addition of supplemental information provided by criminal defense investigator Charles Middlestat, who claimed in the affidavit that Willis and Wade made more than 2,000 phone calls and had nearly 12,000 interactions across 2021. Willis has asked the court to dismiss his information as irrelevant, explaining that the affidavit does not include any context for the calls or interaction. That's the thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You don't have to be, you're not going to get specifics. Now you could, because they pulled Nathan Wade's records, but they didn't pull the context of the text messages. Now Nathan Wade is trying to get his text messages like sealed and make it to where they can't subpoena them, go after them and read them. And this is probably one reason why, because if they come out, because they haven't got Fani Willis's cell phone. They only got his. So she can get up there and talk all this noise. Nathan Wade ain't saying nothing because he knows, shoot, if I keep talking, if I say anything else, it's gonna make it look worse. We'll see what I can do to get myself out of this as soon as possible. But if they could go deeper into the text messages, now the phone calls they probably couldn't do. Maybe they can get transcripts. I don't know. I mean, shoot, man, technology is a beast now. I know they could listen to you. Shoot, I remember years ago, my daughter told me when I had got pulled over in a little small town, taking her to school. And they pull us over. You know, you rent a car, I got these plates from Michigan, and you down here in Texas and Oklahoma. And they see you, you know what I'm saying, a couple of black folks ride in a car, with out-of-state plates. First thing I want to do is jump behind you and say, oh, you were speeding. And I'm like, there's no speed limit. Speed limit is 45. That's sitting right there. How the heck? It wasn't. I just pulled out of McDonald's. What are you talking about? How am I speeding? I ain't from this town. But anyway, she would tell me that when I'm sitting there fussing and everything in the car, she's like, they can hear you from back there. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, they can hear you. And I'm like, I didn't even know that. But yeah, they can listen in on you and not even have a freaking, what you call a bug or a microphone in your building. They can do it by by listening to vibrations. Matter of fact, it's the same concept if you think about it. Of the can and the string that we used to do back in the day. If y'all kids don't do that, you know what? That's something y'all let them do. Let them see something like that. That is probably something that would probably amaze these kids nowadays. Yeah. But anyway, the string, you can put the string against like on one can, or you put the string in the cans, tie them up so the string can be in the can. Like put holes in the bottom of the cans, put the string in there, tie them up, put knots in them. Stretch them, and you can talk from one end to another, and you can hear what they saying like exactly, like yarn. Anyway, look it up, man. Look it up. If y'all don't do it, if y'all get your kids, show it to them, man. They'll be, like I said, hours of entertainment. But yeah, if they go deeper into it, I'm quite sure they're gonna find other things. Fani just need to learn how to shut up, because every time she opens her mouth, they find some contradiction. May not be big contradiction, but it's enough for them to question. Just a question. Let's make sure everything is on the up and up. Now, it says, writing on his personal website Sunday, Turley, a professor at George Washington University Law School who testified during Bill Clinton's impeachment inquiry in 1998 and at an impeachment hearing for Donald Trump in 2019, argued that the new phone data allegations against Willis and Wade were at the utmost seriousness, explaining that those calls, it is alleged, contradict the sworn testimony of both prosecutors on their relationship. They have insisted that they did not become romantically involved until shortly after Wade was hired by Willis in the Trump case, Turley wrote. They also downplayed how often they spoke, describing a limited level of contact in 2021. Investigator Charles Middlestat submitted an affidavit discussing over 2,000 voice calls and just under 12,000 text messages from the 11-month period of January to November 2021. That later date is when Wade was hired. Turley did stress in his post that these records have not been fully vetted in court. Nevertheless, he argued that if the information is confirmed to contradict Willis's claim about her relationship with Wade, this will make the controversy far more serious than disqualification from the case. It could raise concerns over potential criminal conduct. It could also push the court to refer both attorneys to the bar. They just need to step down. They really do. We've seen stories of people step down from positions with less evidence, lose jobs, lose scholarships to schools, lose their freedom with less evidence against them than circumstantal. Because it's basically what it is. It's circumstantial evidence. But no, she's not on trial. She was right about that. But you technically are, because you put yourself on the witness stand. She should have held her emotions. I don't care what anybody say. Y'all gonna say that who she's dating, sleep with, got nothing to do with her job, and it always goes back to the ethics of a business. Don't get on here trying to cape for her actions. This is what you do. If you got a job, or if you know someone who has a job, or if you used to have a job, look and see if you can find the employee handbook for the company that you work for, or even formerly work for. And look to see what the policy is on dating and relationships at the company. A lot of y'all probably never read even part of the book. You know what you read? You read to see how many days you can miss before being wrote up. You probably read that last wrote up you had, how long does it take for it to fall off? Probably also look to see how many vacation hours do you get a year, and when does it start accumulating? And sick days too. That's probably all you looked at. And you probably looked at that after you signed the back saying that you received the handbook. So you probably have no idea what your company policy is on with dating and relationships. Because the reason why these policies are in place, let me break it down to you real quick. They're in place, again, to protect not you, but the company. Because say a relationship like this, right now they admitted that they had a relationship with each other. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, she fired Nathan Wade. She had fired him, right? And they got into it for some reason. And emotionally, she went and fired the guy. Did things to try to get him disbarred, fired, and blackballed, saying you'll never work in this town again. Okay. So then Nathan Wade comes out and says, you know what? I got you. The next thing you know, he comes out and files a lawsuit against her. For what? Wrongful termination and sexual harassment. Now, y'all gonna say, But wait, they had a relationship. So how he gonna file for wrongful termination and sexual harassment? Well, he could say that she was my superior. She had this case with, the Trump case. She knew I wanted to be a part of that. Or she came and asked me if I would be a part of that. And let's say I was like, I don't know. Or I said I wanted to be a part of it. And she was like, I don't know. Let me think about it. Maybe if you do, maybe we can meet, come to my condo at like 10:45 on September 11th. We'll discuss it. If I should or shouldn't let you be on this special prosecution team. And in order for me to get the job, she know I didn't have no money. I had $2,000 in my bank account, going through a divorce, got all these bills, this debt. My estranged wife is going to wipe me out. And she offered me this job and said, if you get this job, you're going to make such and such amount of money. You're going to get paid way more money than you're making right now. And you will be able to pay off all your bills. Do you like that? That sound good? You're like, yeah, okay. Well, come on to my condo and we'll talk about it. If not, I don't know what I can do for you. So there's a way you can say that he felt like he had no choice because he was in dire straits at the time. So he had to go and do what he had to do, get some family cakes and clap until her heart was content. That's the only way that he could pay the bill. So I felt threatened. I felt, forced to do these things, and I was taken advantage of. Yeah, the grand jury would probably say, okay, let's let's go forward with the case. And y'all can say, man, that dude lying. He didn't have to do that. He just doing it because he mad because he got fired. Could be right. But it doesn't look good for the district attorney's office at all. So those are the type of things. Or when y'all working at Walmart or Home Depot and y'all getting these relationships, and then this thing girl find out that this dude, he's also messing with the cashier down there in the Florida department where you get your flowers and your fertilizer. Then a big thing happened and a big fight happened and trying to find out what the fight was about. And next thing you know, one of them come out and say he was harassing me all the time. I was telling him to leave me alone and I didn't want nothing to do with the guy. Boom, there's a problem. Now, or a fight, and the fight breaks out regardless, whatever, lawsuit. And they suing Home Depot because of this three-way relationship that wasn't supposed to happen. So that's why they have these rules in the books, and you sign that book and say, hey, I will not have any kind of relationship with anybody that work for this company currently or future. And if it do, then I will let if we want to do it, we'll let the powers that be know. Make you sign that, so if anything happen, they can say, hey, they know the rules. They signed and said they agreed to it. So it's out of our hands. See what I'm saying? So that's why your personal relationship and your business relationship in this story goes together. So let's not have that conversation again. But anyway, we're going to get back to this because we're going to go ahead and end this. I've been rambling long enough. I think that long drive, I'm still feeling that. So let's go back to where they try to say that cell towers. Cell towers don't tell you exactly where Nathan Wade was at a certain time of day. Well, like I say, you can look at his text messages and see the transcripts of those. And if Fani Willis wants to really prove that that Nathan Wade wasn't in her condo on these days, she can release her phone records and her text messages and her phone records too. So that way you can put everything together and you can prove your case. Or just holler it ain't true and you ain't got no proof behind it, because court of public opinion is a big thing. Because Fani Willis believed in a court of public opinion because if she didn't, she wouldn't have went to the AME church and gave that bullcorn testimony. So again, cell towers. Let's just see how far a cell tower reached, because I looked it up before I got on here, and I Google asked, how far does a cell tower reach? And one of the first websites that popped up, this says DGTLINFRA. I don't know what that means, but it's probably digital infrared. It's probably the name of the company, but it's spelled DGTLINFRA.com, and it reads, it says cell tower range. How far do they reach? Now, well, Fani Willis team said, there's no way to pinpoint where he was. Oh no, pinpoint that he was, cannot prove that he was at the condo in a heavily dense area. Boom. Now remember the cell towers I said was 2,000 and 3,000 feet from the condo. A legal team on the rebuttal from this new charge said that she was in the area that those cell towers are. It's in a dense area, with a high populated area. So let's look at what this website says. It says on average, the maximum usable range of a cell tower is 25 miles. Ooh, I bet you ready to start typing now, right? While the typical coverage radius of a cell tower is 1 to 3 miles. Uh-oh, you probably still typing your reply right now. Trying to cape for Fani Willis. Okay, while the typical coverage radius of a cell tower is 1 to 3 miles, and in dense urban environments, a cell tower usually reaches 0.25 miles to 1 mile before handing off a user's connection to another nearby cell tower. So, first of all, how many feet in a mile? Sure, I didn't look at that. Let me see. How many feet in a mile? Now, we ain't finna edit this out. We're gonna play this out. 5,280 feet. So basically, the two cell towers that this investigator was able to ping Nathan Wade's cell phone was a mile apart, was a mile from each other. So which means that if both of them were pinging at the same time, he was somewhere probably close to the middle in between both of them, because this says user reaches 0.25 to 1 mile before handing off a user's connection to another cell tower. So basically somewhere in the middle. By the time Nathan Wade went from here to here, it'll normally hand it off, but he was like right there in the middle of the vicinity. So no, it doesn't specifically say where he was at, but doggone it. Come on, y'all. What do you think? Seriously. Nathan Wade and Fani Willis is just gonna step down from this case because they prolonging the inevitable. All you're doing is helping Donald Trump. Because even if you don't step down, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna appeal it. And they're gonna appeal it to the highest court and tell them how long it's gonna take. And then by the time they get ready to appeal it, and then if he does go to trial, whenever he goes to trial, because he ain't even on trial yet. It's a guy, this one guy that I was reading, he said, the prosecutor, what'd he say? He said Turley has in the past suggested that the criminal case against Trump in Fulton County is not as strong as it is for some of his co-defendants, and stated that he has doubts about the case. It said Turley also told Newsweek via email on Saturday that Willis and Wade should step aside in Trump's Georgia case, adding that their problems are escalating. See, Trump and his lawyers not asking for the case to be dismissed. At least not yet. All they're trying to do is get them taken off. But it's all preliminary. If they get them taken off, they gotta get somebody else who want to take take it up. And remember, Fani Willis already asked other people, including the former governor of Georgia, if they would take the case. And they were like, no. Former governor of Georgia said he ain't got time to be living with armed security for the rest of his life. But yet, for some reason, Fani Willis thought she knew better. They gassed her up. And so now somebody lit a flame and it's just catching fire. Her whole life is catching fire right now, burning up in front of her eyes. She need to go and hand this off to somebody. That's what they should be working on right now. Who they're going to hand this off to and give to somebody else so she can step down, step away, and they can be out of the spotlight. Because as long as you're in the spotlight, it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you because the only thing that's going to happen is this case and everything about it is going to go through appeals for the next 4-5 years. By the time it even gets to court, and Donald Trump will be in and out of office. It says response of Willis and Wade is now eclipsing the original allegations that have placed their personal interests before the case and the office. Most importantly, they have allowed those interests to transcend the public interest in the case. They should clearly step aside, he wrote. However, there are now alleging of false filings with the court and even perjury. The problems are escalating for both prosecutors. That is a lawyer, a seasoned lawyer who's been around for decades telling them this. If y'all still think, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna ask a question. Why do y'all think she should still be part of this case? Give me a legit reason, because maybe it's something I'm missing. You know what I'm saying? I only got an associate's degree. I'm sorry, and a license. But I didn't go to no bachelor's or master's or doctor's college. So maybe I missed out. I slept through half of high school. So maybe I missed out on something. So tell me, why do y'all think that she should still be on this case? Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. Hey, don't forget to support the channel in the comment section below or the description box below. Different ways you can support the channel. I want to thank y'all for viewing. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe for sure. And with that being said, hey, like I say, leave your comments. We're going to dialogue on this for a minute, so I'm here. But with that being said, leave your comments below. I'll leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.